Hi, I'm Fran Darnell. I'm a Pilates teacher. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm really excited to teach you a plank series today. We're going to do planks and side planks on the mat, and then we're going to take it onto my favorite Pilates equipment, the Wanda chair. Planks are really great because they activate your entire body, so I hope you enjoy. We're going to start today with my friend Teresa. The biggest complaint that I hear is that people get a lot of pain in their wrists or discomfort when they're doing planks or they're doing weight bearing into their hands. So we're going to start off with a strengthening exercise for your hands. We're going to just place your palms together, pressing really firmly. You want to press the knuckles into the other hand, and you'll feel the lifting of the muscles of the hand up into the palm. Just stay there for a nice deep breath, feel your core activating, and feel the energy in your hands. So we're going to take us straight to the floor. Teresa's going to come to her hands and knees, and her hands are directly underneath the shoulders. Her knees are right underneath the hips. Just want to find a few landmarks. Her hands are splayed open. If you envision a child's drawing of a sun, it's a circle with lines radiating outwards. She wants to feel the force of her upper body going down through her entire palm, radiating into the knuckles, and she's pressing her hands down through the mat as if she could push through the mat into the wood floor. Then we also want to take a look at the elbows. Make sure to not hyperextend the joint. The inner elbow goes to turn and face the inside eye of the other elbow. And finally, she's pressing her shins down firmly. And when she's getting all of these points activated, her core is immediately activated and strong. The first part we're going to do is called a serratus anterior push-up. Your arms are going to stay straight in this push-up. Teresa's going to soften her chest down so her shoulder blades come together on her back, and then she's going to press into the hands, pushing through the mat into the floor, lifting herself up, and the shoulders broaden. She'll soften down and lift up. You may not feel it activate at first, but after a while the muscles will pump up and you'll feel an activation right beneath your armpits, stabilizing. She's going to inhale as she softens down, and then exhale as she's pressing up. Press into the ring finger and the pinky finger, and press your shins down firmly. Great. So now she's going to come onto her stomach, and she'll find a Sphinx position with her elbows directly underneath her armpits, the hands splaying open, pressing down firmly. Her legs are radiating back firmly. She wants to really feel both hip points pressing down, and then a lift of the pubic bone up towards the belly button, ribs pulling into back body. Her chest is stretching straight forward, the head's floating high. Here she's going to kick her right heel into her butt and feel the abdominals engage, and then the left, and kick, kick, and the right, kick, kick, and the left, kick, kick. Great. Staying here, she's going to press into each hand and do a tricep press. Pressing up, the chest lifting high, and then keep stretching up through the spine as she lowers down. She wants to press into the hands to straighten the elbows, lifting, and stretching up through her spine as she lowers her elbows carefully. One more time, exhale to press up, and inhale, lower. So now she'll come to her hands and knees. In hands and knees, she's going to do a cat push-up. The hands are again directly underneath the shoulders. She's going to bend her elbows alongside her waist, pointing the elbows towards her knees. Her nose goes forwards to her fingertips. Press down to the shins as she exhales, come back up. Again, she's going to bend her elbows along her waist. As she presses down, she connects the fingers pressing to ribs lifting in and up, engaging in her core deeply. And again, exhale to press all the way up. Now she'll transition into her full plank, tucking the toes under. She wants to press her heels straight back, and she's going to press her chest forward, lifting the chest forward and up a little bit higher, squeezing the butt, inner thighs together. Taking another deep breath here, and a full exhale. Last time, and then lower the knees down. We're now going to take the plank onto the chair. So she's going to stand up and bring her hips to the front edge of the chair, and then place her hands down onto the foot pedal. Great. Her alignment, once she's in position here, is that the shoulders should be directly above the wrist. She wants to reach the energy through her finger pads, ribs lifting in and up, abdominals narrowing, outer thighs squeezing in. She's going to take the pedal a centimeter off of the floor and hold. Immediately, she's activating her whole core. And now bend the elbows along her waist, and exhale, press. That's the cat push-up. As she presses down, the ribs lift in and up. And again, and press. Now the swan, she wants to maintain the chest and distance of the pedal as she rises up, lifting pubic bone to belly button, and then returning to flat back. Exhale to bring that pedal up. Great. And then coming down. And now bend and press last time, 3 times. Good, and she's going to take the pedal up with care, and now take her hands onto the chair as she brings her feet down to the floor, presses her hips back behind her head between the arms, sticking her sits bones out broad. She'll turn both feet and knees towards the left to stretch her left waist long, breathing there. And then switch and walk the feet to face towards the right, stretching through her side waist here. And then she can center her feet underneath her pelvis and she'll roll all the way up to stand, releasing the hands from the chair and lifting up to stand up tall. Great. And then she's going to come down onto the mat to go into the side plank series. So we'll start with side sit-ups. She wants to slide down so that her knees are bent, feet are flexed, and bottom arm is underneath her head. She'll turn the hand to face the ceiling, and her top hand is pressing down on the mat right in front of her chest, shoulder on her back. So her head is resting on her bottom arm, and it's just going to go along for the ride. She's going to lift her bottom shoulder and arm up off the mat as she exhales and lowers down. She'll feel an engagement in her side waist. Squeeze the inner thighs together as she comes up and lowers down. And comes up and hold for 1, 2, 3, and lower down. Make sure the head is just going along for the ride as you come up and hold 2, 3, excellent, and lower down. Now we'll do the bottom side. So now the legs are squeezing together, top arm pressing firmly. Exhale, lift, 2, 3, and lower, and exhale, lift, 2, 3, and lower, 2 more, and exhale. Waistline cinching in and narrowing, the obliques are very active, and last time, lift, 2, 3, and lower. So now she'll do both at the same time, pressing firmly, the shoulders connected, lift, 2, 3, and lower down, squeezing inner thighs, ribs integrating into her back body, and lower, and last time, lift, for 1, 2, 3, and lower. Beautiful. So now she's going to take herself up so that she can bring her bottom elbow underneath her shoulder. Her feet are still together, legs are squeezing, and she'll take her top hand to her bottom armpit and literally pull the armpit up away from the elbow. So she feels that anterior serratus really engaging. And now she's going to take her hand onto her hip. So here, she wants to feel, she has this beautiful hourglass shape on the top waist. She wants to create that same hourglass shape on the bottom waist. And by lifting the ribs in and up, that's what will lift herself up. She's going to press into her feet and her bottom arm and exhale, lift up. This is a mini side plank and lower down. And again, lifting up, shoulders stable, hold, and lower down. And exhale to lift. Beautiful. And lower last time, and exhale to lift. And lower. Her entire abdominal wall is coarsening around her waist. So now, full plank. She wants to extend her legs straight, and she's going to bring the top leg back behind the bottom leg. Both feet are flexed, so she can really push firmly into them. Now, the bottom hand is going to be underneath her shoulder once she presses up into the plank. She'll press up and take her top hand up to the ceiling. Once again, the shoulder is stable. She's creating an hourglass shape on the bottom side of her waist, and she's lifting tall. We're going to do a twist here. It's important for the hips to stay square. They don't twist. Top hand sweeps underneath her bottom armpit and then back up to the ceiling. Good. And again, exhale, twist under. It's like she's a washcloth, wringing herself out, yet the hips are stable and strong. And lift. And her bottom butt is engaging and squeezing as she presses her hips high. Last time, sweep under and lift all the way up. Great. And then lower her hips all the way down. So now we're going to take this side plank onto the Wunda chair to do side sit-ups, and it's going to make it a bit more challenging. So she's going to take her right hip in the center of the chair, and she takes her right hand in the center of the pedal and presses it to the floor. And then she lifts both legs. So to find the correct position, she wants her shoulder directly above the wrist. The palm is radiating out through both fingers, and now she'll take her top hand behind her head. So in this position, it's common for people to want to lift their head up as they're coming up, and that's actually not correct. She wants to feel as if her right ear has a really heavy earring on it, so it's dropping it towards the floor, keeping it in alignment. She's going to feel the hourglass shape of her waist returning again from the bottom side, lifting up into the top. And then she's going to feel her bottom leg squeeze into her top leg. Already, her entire abdominal wall is engaging. Just staying here is hard work. Now, on her exhale, she's going to lift the pedal up. and lower down. And once again, as she lifts up, she wants to feel the hourglass shape of the bottom side of her waist leading, and her right ear stays heavy, so she's not just lifting her head. And lower. Now she's going to lift up and do a little bend and press. Bend the bottom elbow and press away. 1 and 2 and 3, and then press the pedal all the way down. Beautiful. Staying here, we're going to the starfish. So she wants to take her bottom leg forward to the front corner of the chair and her top leg back to the bottom corner of the chair. The top arm will go up to the ceiling. Her head is lengthening long and her bottom arm is pressing down. She has 5 points radiating outwards like a starfish. She needs to stack her hips up. The top hip wants to roll back, so she's going to roll her top hip slightly forward, bend the knee 90 degrees and stay. Literally, she'll feel the hip point pulling up towards her belly button, away from her thigh, and then she's going to extend that leg away, pressing through her heel, and her whole outside of her glute will engage, supporting and stabilizing the pelvis. Here, she'll lift up 3 times from her bottom waist and lower down, radiating through all 5 points, each foot, each hand, and her head. And lower down, and 1 more time, lifting up and lowering down. Her obliques are really kicking in. Now, she'll take her top hand down onto the pedal and hold that on the left edge of the pedal. The right hand will open over to the right. The hips are staying stacked. Her butt is still engaged. She's radiating through the heels. Here is like that twist. She's going to exhale and lift her heart up and lower down. Good. She's wringing herself out like a washcloth, twisting through her waist, and her abdominal wall is hugging into her spine to lift her up in the extension, and stay. She'll return the right hand into the middle of the pedal, bring the left arm back up to the ceiling, and then zip the legs closed. And then I like to think of this as like the synchronized swimmers who dive into the pool going in reverse. The toes will go down and the head will float up, elegantly rising up with control to sit at the top. Beautiful. We'll go into a psoas stretch. The front knee hooks over the front edge, and then the back knee is going to point straight down to the floor. Once again, the hip point, we want it to lift up away from the thigh, holding that support. The heel stretches back, and already she feels a little bit of a psoas stretch, deepening up into her waist. She'll take the left arm up to the ceiling to take that stretch deeper. You want to spiral the arms so the palm and armpit are coming around and in, and then she's going to lower herself down so the right hand can come onto the pedal. Once she's here, she wants to really integrate the rib cage in and keep her heart and chest open forward. And exhale as she lowers down, stretching through the psoas, nice and deep, and really elongating after doing all that contracting up. And last time, over. And then she'll float up with control, lifting the arm and the head up and releasing that down, and then she can bring her leg forward. So we repeat this entire sequence on the second side to make sure to stay balanced in the body. Thank you so much, Teresa. Great job, and I hope you enjoyed it.